Oh, hello. It's time for coffee talk. How are you today? I'm just sitting here this morning. As you notice, I am not in my office. I'm actually in my kitchen. I have a little one who's not feeling well this morning, and so I figured I better stay a little closer to the bedrooms. Today, I've really been thinking about something the Lord moved on my heart about, probably a year and a half ago. You know, we go through seasons where we're up and we're down, and there's times we feel like we're on the mountaintop, and then there's other times we feel like we are on a roller coaster ride down to the valley. And sometimes that can happen all in the span of one day. At least it does for me. I know it does for you too. And I remember at one particular point, about a year and a half ago, I was sitting there and I was going, wow, could it get any worse? And I just felt impressed. You know, you're 44 years old. Yes, I let the cat out of the bag. I'm 44. But you're 44 years old. This is not the end of your story. This is not the culmination of who you are. 100 years from now, people are not going to look back and say, yep, that's all she became. That's all she was worth. No. I think a lot of times we get an apocalyptic sense of failure at times, and we will look at the number of dollars in our bank account, or we'll look at the debt that's piled up and the pile of bills, or we'll look at the heaps of laundry that somehow got out of control that week. And we will look at these things, or maybe we look at our job or our career and we're like, man, I'm low man on the totem pole. I just feel like I've been stuck here for forever. And we get this idea that this is all I'm worth. This is the culmination of who I am. I will always be stuck right here. But that is faulty reasoning. It is defeating reasoning, because the fact is, what you see right now is not the end of your story. I don't care if you are 90 years old. Where you are today is not the end of your story. So long as you have breath in your lungs, you can do more with your life. Things change. I don't know, I was watching an interview that I thought was so telling. It was done in the 1970s. I think it was 1976. And they were interviewing a widow who was 104 years old. So this lady was born in 1872. This lady looked so classy and elegant. She looked like a Victorian. And here she is in this 1976 interview. And something I found so interesting, what's crazy is the interviewer was so wrapped up in modernism and all the new things going on and going to the moon and all this. And she was asking the lady about technology. And I thought, man, those are the boring questions. You know, we're all there. But then she asked her this incredible question. She asks this 104-year-old woman, born in 1872, and she said, what has changed since you were a girl? And that woman went, well, everything. And she began to tell of how her favorite haunts as a child were no longer there. They were replaced with other things. The stores they shopped at, even the way that they shopped, the way they cook, everything. The way people related to each other was completely different. When she was a young girl, they didn't have telephones, you know? So everything was so different. And I got to thinking about our life. Often we look at it and we think, man, this is how life is. And nothing's going to change. Everything's going to be a mess. I know when 2020 happened, you know, life was going pretty well for us. And then 2020 happened and everything became very strange. I remember driving through the streets of Lubbock, Texas, and that is a city of 280,000 people. And I remember driving through the streets and the streets were completely empty. It was silent. It was so quiet. And it was really an eerie feeling. And at that point, that apocalyptic sense of dread came on me. And I thought, oh no, This is reality now. What am I leaving to my children? My children are going to grow up and this is the world now? I didn't realize things keep changing. And yes, sometimes things change for the worse, but other things change for the better. The thing is, you do not have to just sit in your life and allow things to happen to you and, oh, you have no control. No, you can step out in faith and begin to do and begin to build and begin to work toward your goals. If God has placed a calling in your life, you don't have to sit there going, well, I hope somebody will give me a chance. No, prepare. I've talked about it in another video where my husband and I started dedicating 2 hours a day to Bible study and prayer. That was my beginning point. And the more that I began to study and pray, the more God would give me things to teach and to preach and to speak about. And here I was with this stack of messages, and I thought, great, I have a stack of messages. There's nowhere for them to go. But all of a sudden, people would call, hey, we need a ladies speaker for this. Hey, we're having a ladies dinner. Hey, we need this. The pastor got sick. He said, hey, is there anybody that can cover for me? Nobody could. He called me and goes, last resort, I hate to put this on you, but would you cover? I said, yeah, I've got just the thing. It's amazing when I began to take a step forward that all of a sudden the doors would open. You are not stuck. You are not stuck. This is not the end of your story. All you need to do, if you are not happy with the number in the bank account, start saving $1 a day. If you're not happy with the laundry heaps, great. Fold just a little basket of it every day. You'll get caught up. Start making those motions forward. If you're not happy with how your family is eating, I get it. You can't completely start stocking up and buying all organic right away. You have to adjust to the difference in cost and to the difference in method. But you can start with, hey, 2 dinners every week. I'm going to make sure we're eating clean. 2 dinners a week. That's it. The rest of the week, we may still be eating junk. Okay. But for 2 dinners a week, I am taking steps forward. And the more you get comfortable with those methods and with what you need to buy for that and how you prepare for clean eating, then it's not so hard later on to add a 3rd night a week. And then a 4th. You build through steps. And I think a lot of times we get stuck in the idea that this is the end of my story. This is the culmination of my life because we think we have to fix the big picture immediately or it doesn't count. No. No. Realize change is inevitable. Be part of the change in the right direction by taking the little steps. Take the little steps. I wrote down in my notes this morning, don't be afraid to do the hard things. Sometimes little steps are hard. I know when we moved to Southern Illinois, and this is an absolutely beautiful part of the country, but a lot of the stores are very different. How you get places is pretty different. There's a lot of things that are different, and I had to relearn, I can't get this product at the grocery store. I've got to figure out how to make this myself or how to source it. And it was a learning curve for me. But I didn't just throw up my hands and give up. No, you start making those steps. Do the hard things. Okay, I've got to figure out how to make this step on my own. Nobody's willing to help you? Fine. I'm going to step out and God will help me. All right? Don't get stuck in the idea that this is all your life amounts to, because your life's not over yet. We need to debunk the idea that it's too late and life has passed us by. There are news stories of a man, I believe he was 86 years old. Something happened when he was younger and he was running a marathon. Something interrupted the marathon and it was his last chance, he felt, and he didn't get to finish. And for years and years in his life, he felt that life had passed him by because that one thing, that one goal had passed him by. He didn't get to accomplish it. And then all of a sudden, he's 80 years old and he goes, wait a minute, I am still breathing. I can still walk. I can still move. And the man started training himself. And he went from walking on a walker to walking without it, to training to where he could run. He trained himself to where by the age of, I believe it was about 86, he went and with all of his friends and family by this point are on board because they're going, wow, we're seeing all the little steps that you're incorporating. You are going to make this. And they all show up and he goes to that spot where the marathon was and he runs his own marathon and he accomplishes what he thought he'd missed out on for 60 years. But he did it with little steps. Now he's a fitness coach, almost 90 years old, and he's a fitness coach. Incredible. Incredible. You hear about people in their 90s finally getting their college degree. It's never too late. It's never too late. All you've got to do is get the thinking out of your head that this is the culmination of my life. I failed. This is all there is. No. You have a lot of life ahead of you. Get out there and live it.